I'm John Batchelor. This is the John Batchelor Show, of course, except for Monica Crowley's here. And so on this side of the room, it's the Monica Crowley Show, of course. Monica and I have worked together at least since 2002. My memory, Monica, it was the winter of 2002.
Yes,
is that a good memory?
Yes, very early on in 2002. It was just a couple of months after the September 11th attacks.
Right.
You were doing a show late night. You brought me on as a guest.
Paul Alexander was over here.
Right, and I sat here,
right.
and we had a wonderful time talking about the issues of the day.
Your memories of those early months broadcasting after the attack, when we were still frantic with the news from Afghanistan. We had not in any way recovered the blow to New York. What are your memories about broadcasting on WABC?
Well, you know what? I remember how in the initial days and weeks after the 9/11 attacks, how we were trying to piece together who the enemy really was. Nobody had heard of Al-Qaeda. Nobody had heard of Osama bin Laden. Nobody had heard of the Taliban and their base of operations in Afghanistan. And so in those early days, weeks, and months, we were piecing together the story every night with you and Paul.
Right, and we didn't have any breadth then, because it was every night the war, the war, the war. It was a new idea, the country being at war.
And even the political stories had to do with the war. So everything was encapsulated in this new threat that we were facing that was here. It wasn't abroad, wasn't across the ocean, it was here. It came here.
And we had all these new words to introduce. There was some place called Guantanamo, you know, something from the past, some lease with Cuba. And there was this character running around in Washington. It was said to be important. I think his name was Karl Rove. Was that it?
Yes.
The early days.
He's still important, by the way, John.
We were trying to figure out, what does Karl Rove do with the White House?
Yeah.
And who's the administration? And then, of course, we loved Rummy.
Yeah,
we loved Rummy.
By the way, I might be the only conservative left who still loves Rummy.
No, we loved Rummy in 2000.
He's going to be on my radio show, by the way, next week.
Good, fine. Rumsfeld with Monica Crowley. I've always loved, and Rummygrams, the little snowgrams.
Yes. By the way, little known fact about Donald Rumsfeld: when he was Secretary of Defense, he refused to have a chair. And he had his desk elevated so it was almost at elbow length, and he never sat. And he would stand behind his desk for a good 12 or 13 hours every day. Never sat down.
Monica Crowley, on facts I didn't have after all these years.
Surprising that Batchelor doesn't know
Monica started
this.
on Batchelor Alexander, and she then moved into her own radio slot on WABC, got her own syndicated show, and now she's on television and radio all the time. And it's a pleasure to welcome him back to my studio, because Monica and I have not sat together in this studio at least since 2005.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, too, although we're on the air a lot together and we talk on the phone. So, Monica Crowley of the Monica Crowley Show on WABC, and this is old John Batchelor. Good day.
Thank you.